What up, everybody? I'm doing another live stream this time because unfortunately, I did not attend the Cal Poly game on New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2022. And as you can see in the description down below, I ended up not going to that game for a good reason. And you can kind of tell in my voice a little bit. But this is a much different case as opposed to a few days ago. I'm still run down and everything, but I had mentioned in the description down below, unfortunately, I tested positive for COVID, mainly body aches and chills, but I'm on the road to recovery. And if all goes well, I should be back at the games at the next home game anyway in about a week's time. So we'll talk about the Cal Poly game just to get that off my chest. I wanted to do it yesterday, but it was hard for me to really talk, and every time I finished talking, I felt like coughing afterwards. So I thought, well, maybe I better just wait a little bit. So anyway, Cal Poly. Oh my God, that was a great defensive game overall. But it did leave me with a pretty deceiving look on my face because I was very, very happy with the way that they started out the game because University of Hawaii jumped out to an early 16-point lead. They started out 16-0 after Cal Poly kept hitting bricks. They couldn't even hit anything. And but once they started making their baskets, they ended up closing it up to the tune of outscoring them 22-11 for the rest of the way in that first half. And eventually University of Hawaii took a 27-22 lead just when you thought it might be a blowout. So I think for this game, I would definitely give them a solid B plus, maybe a bit of an A, maybe with a bit of an A minus if they had kept that, since they let that league get so small. But credit to the University of Hawaii because they definitely came out prepared. They did not trail one bit at all. And I'll be honest with you, Cal Poly, that's a team that I did not expect anything less than a win from them, even though we have fallen to Cal Poly in the past. But I did think they would win against them, and as a result, they proved me right. So the second half, UH picked it up. They fixed some of the problems that they were having, and as a result, they managed to pull it back to double digits. But Cal Poly once again made another run, and I think the reason why was because UH hit only one triple all game long, and that was from Kamaka Hepa. Now, personally, I would kind of find that something to really think about because if you win a game with only one triple, you know there's something wrong with the shooting. And one triple, that took me by surprise because the University of Hawaii is known for making at least 6, 7, or 8 triples a game, maybe even over 10 on any given night. Sorry, I'm trying to stay hydrated a little bit. But, the only thing I think that has to be worked on is being able to keep a lead from not getting too close. Like Cal Poly did down the stretch. Because the closest they got was 52-48. That's a 4-point gap. But fortunately, UH scored the final 5 points to ultimately ice it. Now, once again, I still thought that game was a win, was going to be a win no matter what. Did I think, and eventually they would win 57-48? But to be perfectly honest, I expected them to win by a little bit more, even though they won both halves. That's just the thing. I mean, I mean, Cal Poly, they're not necessarily a terrible team. Um, of course, they were shorthanded because they did lose Cameron Pierce to an injury. And obviously we're down a guy because Amar Olato had surgery for shin splints, and he's out likely until the tournament, the Big West tournament. But anyway, I still thought UH played well. They did not trail, as I said. Did I? But obviously, there are some things that have to be worked on. For starters, they have to know how to keep their lead from not getting to prevent it from not getting very close. But credit to the University of Hawaii, they were very efficient, and when it got close, they responded. And I'm very happy about that. Though I think they probably could have won that thing by at least 15 or 20 if they didn't get a little complacent in that first half and hit their triples, of course. Because Cal Poly, how many triples did they make? They only made one as well, and that was in the second half. And, but props to Cal Poly. I mean, they made us work for it, and if you sleep on them, they'll reach out and take one away from you. They're the kind of team that can do that, and obviously a betting man would have said UH was going to win this one going away, which they kind of did, but that start and their defense really told the story from my view. I was very, very pleased to see them jump out to an early lead because they were given a big gift with that. And when you jump out to a 16-point lead and all Cal Poly is doing is shooting nothing but bricks, you're doing something right. And a little bit of that is a little deceiving because after the first half, the University of Hawaii had only 6 field goals made despite a 16-0 start. And now why do I find that deceiving? Well, think about this. The University of Hawaii is known for starting out lava hot, which they did. But Cal Poly, they could have reached out and grabbed this one because I think there was a time where UH got a little complacent very briefly, but they picked it up. They responded back. They did not let Poly get within no more than 4 points towards the end. But 48 points, hey, that's great. You know why? Because that's a season low for a UH opponent. And already we're standing at 11 wins this season. Of course, 2-0 in conference play. But we're out of this 6-game homestand that included the Diamond Head Classic. And that started with a game against St. Francis, then with the Diamond Head Classic, that's 4 games, and then these last 2 in the 2022 calendar year for 6 games at home. Now up next, they go up against UC San Diego. Now last season, those games did not count for conference play because UCSD is still transitioning to D1. And it takes 4 years, and I think we're in year number 3 now. But this year, they're counting for conference play. Do I think they can take UCSD? Yes. Do I think they'll win that one? Yes. Because if last year was any indication, they proved they can do well. Because even though that both games didn't count for conference play last season, the University of Hawaii left no stone unturned and did really well. And even though when UCSD came here, UH did really well. They led the first half 41-18. And of course, UCSD, they were a bit depleted because a lot of COVID concerns. But still, no excuses. I mean, UCSD really can make you work for it, just like Cal Poly can if you're not careful. But as long as UH plays well, get some good games out of guys like Morsek, Beon Riley, Kamaka Hepa, Noel Coleman, and Jovan McClanahan, just to name a few. I think we got a shot to win it. I think we got a shot to win both games. And we're up against Cal State Fullerton, and that'll be on Saturday the 7th. And obviously, Fullerton, I'm not sure if their lead player, EJ Anasicki, is back this season. Although I don't think he is, because he is a senior, but we'll see what happens. But I think we could win that one. It wasn't the case in the tournament because, unfortunately, UH did not score well, did not shoot well. Neither did Fullerton in that semifinal game. UH had only 15 field goals and 16 turnovers. But the shooting was just not there that night. But as long as the shooting is there against Fullerton, I think we could be looking at 2 wins. So I think they can get 2 wins on this road trip. But a split is, I believe, now I fully believe that a split on this road trip will be the worst that UH could do. And unless they play really, really poorly, they're going to go 0-2. But I don't see that happening, and I'll tell you why. They have a good rotation, and although Juan Munoz is out for the season with that Achilles injury in the exhibition matchup, I'm hoping he can come back next season, although I kind of doubt it. But anyway, when you have guys like Samuta Avea and Bernardo da Silva in your corner, that's a recipe for success. And when you consider also that Beon Riley is coming along in the three-point shooting and Morsek is getting a lot more minutes, especially in the paint, we're going to be in for a hell of a season. I'm not going to lie to you. So, obviously, we'll have to bring our A game against UCSD and Cal State Fullerton, because obviously Fullerton is a proven front runner, just like Santa Barbara and Long Beach State. We'll definitely have to bring our A games for those 2 teams. And sure hope we can come through with wins against them. Am I predicting a perfect Big West Conference season from the University of Hawaii? No. No, nobody's perfect. I mean, unless you're damn good, let me tell you. But if they didn't lose Munoz, I might predict perfect season. But it is what it is. So, obviously, we're going to have to play well. I do believe, though, that the University of Hawaii can come through with 2 wins, but a split would be the worst that they could do. I don't see them going 0-2. So, all right, guys, that's it, and I'll see you all again. So, unfortunately, no graphics and no B-roll this time because I was not at that game. I'm not at the Cal Poly game, but I'm starting to recover. I think I should be back at the next one. And that next game at home is against CSUN on January 16th. That's a Monday. Or excuse me, January 14th against Long Beach State. That's a Saturday. So obviously, we're going to hope for the best. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. And remember to subscribe if you like my channel on my UH men's basketball videos. I'm hoping to possibly get a line of work someday in Hawaii sports, be it UH or high school sports. So, or if you like my Supercross broadcasts or Supercross races that I posted on my channel, much appreciated there. So, for now, Malama Pono, everyone.